The wide-scale destruction was seen at Gaza's Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City in the north following the Israelis who had bombed the Al-Shifa Hospital for a span of 2 straight weeks. With access to Gaza's biggest hospital severely restricted, the Israelis and the Palestinian versions differed. A WHO clip showed as to what has become of the Al-Shifa Hospital complex. It's now been turned into a wasteland of destroyed buildings, with a section of its courtyard turned into a mass makeshift grave. Now, this is the second major Israeli incursion into the Al-Shifa Hospital after an earlier operation in November. The Palestinians have slammed this Israeli bombing of the Al-Shifa hospital that was treating the severely wounded patients, and they've dubbed it to be a war crime. A key Gaza official has said that the Israeli forces have killed as many as about 400 Palestinians inside the Al-Shifa hospital, including many of the medical staff, surgeons and other patients who are getting treatment there, including a woman doctor and her son, and a doctor, and it put the facility completely out of action. Now, the Israeli officials claim that the Special Forces unit had conducted what they claim is a targeted strike against a Hamas stronghold that was located amongst the vulnerable civilians. The Israeli military says that the Al-Shifa hospital had been turned into a major operating center by the Palestinian groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad. The Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari stated that 200 militants and 2 Israeli servicemen had been killed during this operation. At least about 900 Palestinians had been detained. He added that some 500 were identified as Hamas or Islamic Jihad, including senior commanders and officials. An Israeli government spokesperson has praised this two-week-long military onslaught on Gaza's largest hospital complex. They've termed it as a victory, where they've burnt down the entire hospital complex. Now, Avi Hyman of Israel's National Public Diplomacy Directorate has said that the Israeli raid on the Al-Shifa hospital is a gold standard of how a military must operate, where the entire of the Al-Shifa hospital has been bombed and has been reduced to rubble or has been burnt out completely. The displaced Palestinians who had sought a refuge at the hospital and had been evacuated on several occasions gathered, not knowing as to where they would have to go next. At least about 32,000 Palestinians have been killed in this Israeli military onslaught on the Gaza Strip since the 7th of October. The Gaza health officials say that most of the fatalities are civilians, 2/3 of whom are women and young children. And it is also being said that at least about 14,000 Palestinian children have been massacred in this Israeli onslaught since the 7th of October.
I have nothing left. My house was bombed and everything has gone. I have nothing left. I sought shelter at schools, but they told me there was no space for me. Where do I go?
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.